Hi, this is Mr. Evans. This video is the final video on this section 3.1.3 and it's about understanding that the success of a business can be measured in ways other than profit. So, we set our business aims, and we've looked in previous videos about how business aims will vary from company to company depending on that individual business's circumstances, owners, size, level of competition, etc. So because there's lots of different aims that businesses might set for themselves, an infinite number of aims, there are lots and lots of different ways that businesses might choose to measure their success. The most obvious way of measuring success that we think of is perhaps the amount of profit that a business makes. But many businesses might choose to use other metrics to judge their success. And there are literally hundreds, thousands of different ways that you could use to decide whether or not your business has been a success. And it will very much depend on the aims that you've set yourself. But here are just a few ideas for you. So rather than looking at profit, which of course is total revenue minus total costs, in other words, how much you got from sales, and then you subtract the costs you incurred in making those sales, okay, you might just look at the revenue or the sales growth. Okay, have we actually sold more? Let's forget about the profit, but if we sell more, then that's an indication that maybe we might be able to make more profit in the future, and it's an indication that our business is expanding, growing, etc. We might choose to look at profit margins rather than profit, and I'll talk about profit margins more in a later video. We might look at cost minimization. Okay, it's all very well thinking about have we maximized our profit, but how are we doing in terms of keeping our costs low? We might choose that metric to measure our success. We might look at the return on investment that have been made. So for every pound the owner has invested in the business, how much money have they actually got out? We might use market capitalization, which isn't in the specification, but it's a way that many businesses look to measure their size. Other ways of measuring size include the sales per square foot. That would be particularly useful for a retailer. The number of employees, the number of locations. Okay, all of these are possible ways of deciding if a business is being successful. If we've got a business that had set itself the target of increasing in size, opening 5 new branches that year, okay, has it opened 5 new branches or not? That could be how they judge their success. The level of customer satisfaction might be a way of judging success. The amount of employee satisfaction, we can measure it by perhaps labour turnover, the number of staff who are leaving, or we might do staff surveys to see how staff feel about working in the organisation. Lots of different ways to measure success. Many businesses might choose an environmental method to measure success. So have they cut down on their carbon emissions? What's the product quality like? So you can see there's lots and lots of different ways of measuring a business's success. You need to be aware that profit is one way of measuring success, but there's lots and lots of other ways of measuring success that are dependent on the aims and objectives that the business sets for itself.